Okay, folks, welcome back to another fantastic edition of Opali Presents Know Your Pros. And today's guest, we have our own friend Chris Clark of Smart Home Mortgage, serving Oxnard, Camarillo, Ventura, all over the state of California. Chris empowers clients by finding them the right local mortgage or refi fit for their home. Chris, it's a pleasure to have you here on the show today, man.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Henry. Looking forward to getting things going.
Well, Chris, I'm psyched to talk to you just because I know in the mortgage industry, especially, we've got so much, or so many, I should say, variables and things
Mhm.
that people talk about when it comes to purchasing a home or, even refinancing your home. But most people are thinking about purchases and interest rates and all these different variables. And it's almost like speaking Greek to some people. I want to talk about like how you quell those fears and make it very easy for people to get into their dream house. But before we do that, I want to talk about your why of why you got started in the first place. You're a local guy. You've been doing this for some time now, and you're
Mhm.
still young, which is impressive. You've been in the game since the beginning. Is that right?
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
yeah. I've been in the industry now about 7 years. Started in my early 20s, now in my early 30s here. So one of the reasons why I got into business for myself was to build relationships with clients and make sure that they don't just feel like a loan number. Oftentimes when you go to apply for a car loan or a personal loan and stuff like that, you kind of get washed away and just being like a loan number, and not so much treated like a real person. So that's one thing that I strive to bring to all of my transactions, and making sure that people are treated like people.
Right. Yeah, it's like I said, it sometimes is a situation that people get into where they're not so sure about, what it is they need or why it is they might need it. And from
Mhm.
our conversation that we had to begin, it seems like you ease that stress quite a bit.
Right.
I want to understand, why then in kind of the mortgage industry, like it doesn't seem like the most glamorous thing of all time, but it is special. You said that you like to build relationships with people, and so
Mhm.
much of mortgage lending can be, I think you mentioned it, transactional, right?
Mhm. Right.
So like, can you elaborate a little bit more on why you wanted to get into this sort of realm? I know that you were talking about a friend of yours who was doing this when you decided to get in.
Right, right. Yeah. So one of my mentors, when I first started, back when I was doing personal training, he would talk all the time about helping these families whose, backs were up against the wall. They couldn't close their loan, or, the bank they were working with told them no at the last minute. And, in a real estate transaction, when that happens, it can be a very scary time. Your earnest money deposit that you put down could be at risk. People could be losing, thousands of dollars if you're not able to do that. So here I was hearing him, come in and basically save the day, restructure the loan, find solutions or find lenders who would take the loan and just get it done. And it kind of make him look like Superman, so to speak. So I was like, yeah, I have to learn more about how to do this. And I want to be just like that to be able to help families get into their homes.
Yeah, and I mean, especially coming out of the crisis, 15 years ago, we're in a
Mhm.
different landscape now, where people, are not quite getting into the mortgage, game just because, they maybe don't understand it or they're able to hop into something that they think is super easy. But now we've got like all of these online lenders becoming much more widespread. And
Mhm.
to a guy like you who can offer this support and this knowledge, I imagine is a huge reason of why your firm is different from the next one, right? I want to ask you, why should somebody come to Chris Clark of Smart Home Mortgage over that next guy or even that online lender?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, aside from the flexibility, the product, the service, expertise is a huge thing. There's probably from those online lenders and specialists and stuff like that, they can oftentimes have like teaser rates or bait and switch rates. There's a lot of hidden fees and stuff that a lot of people aren't aware of. And they oftentimes, when you go to an online lender, are more transactional. They're more about their P&L. So they're just trying to get the loan through to kind of profit themselves and not necessarily protect the client. So what we do is, we believe in transparency. We believe in helping the client and putting the client's interest above our own, even if that goes down to offering discounts to get the loan through. We always value the client over ourselves. And a lot of times those online lenders take advantage of clients without them even knowing.
I was telling you how like incredible it is that, some folks will trade off, a percentage rate, or, a couple $1,000s, maybe even per month, just for the
Mhm.
sake of convenience, which is incredible.
Right.
And you were talking at the top before we started shooting here about how smart home mortgage and, moreover, Chris is all about more products and more options. You talked about offering discounts. You talked about the
Mhm.
lack of bureaucracy, maybe, and the red tape. Of course, there are limitations in
Right.
there. That's always going to be the case. But
Mhm.
flexibility is what I sense with you guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When you don't have a big corporate structure, it benefits the clients, and that was when our broker initially set out to do when he opened his brokerage, was to put the client first and empower the loan officers to have the flexibility to put the client first in every situation. So that's where we're at today, and it's been a great run so far.
I love it, man. I love that. You guys have a lot of different products at your shop. I want to talk about where folks can find you here in a little bit, but we've got all sorts of different types of loans and refi options right now. What's been your most popular, at least for the moment?
Yeah, so I mean, we do all the traditional loans like your conventional FHA, VA, all that good stuff. But you know, what's one of our more unique products is going to be our non-QM options for self-employed individuals, investors, etc. Basically, all it is taking the risk evaluation and switching it so that it's in more favor of the borrower. If you're self-employed, instead of looking at your tax returns, the bank is going to evaluate you based on your deposits and not your bottom line on your tax returns. So that's a lot more catered to the borrower. It's more friendly. It helps them open up a world of possibilities as far as what they can purchase or refi to access their equity.
Well, I'll tell you what, it makes it a whole lot more attractive as an entrepreneur myself to think about that mortgage process. I mean, it seems really scary. It's like you got to
Mhm.
have a big fat W-2 from a big old employer. And for those of us
Right.
trying to eke out an existence with a reputable business that we may have built over years is not always easy.
Mm.
It might not seem like the most
Right.
thing. So that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent.
So check out vcmortgagelender.com to learn
Mhm.
more about Chris's non-QM options there if you're an entrepreneur, but all the conventional stuff as well. Chris, I do want to
Yeah.
let you have the floor though in telling folks how they can touch base with you, with your business. Where can they find you online, and how do you prefer to be, in touch?
Yeah, the website is a great way to access and get more content. I do have some videos on YouTube as well that can highlight certain products and things like that. As far as social media, I'm on Instagram mostly. It's Chris underscore loans underscore smart. So people can reach out to me there as well if they have any questions or need anything. And my cell phone is always on as well. So easy way right there.
Beautiful. And folks, I mean, just Google the dude. Google Chris Clark Smart Home Mortgage. You'll see a Google listing pop up, and he's got great reviews. I would encourage you to read through them all. He's got nothing but great things being told about him from his previous clients, which is fantastic. Of course, everything that Chris just mentioned is going to be in the description of this video, as it always is, so that you can get in touch with the guy should you be in the market. But Chris Clark is the dude you need to know if you're looking for a professional by your side to cut through some of the bureaucracy, to cut through some of that stuff that might make you feel like maybe, hey, I'm not here yet. Chris is here to put you into the right product and give you the best option. Again, he's with Smart Home Mortgage. Chris, thank you so much, man, for being a guest here today on Know Your
Awesome.
Pros.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Henry. It's been great getting a chance to chat with you. Thank you so much.
Know Your Pros.